She was active on social media, making plans for the future. Then suddenly, she was found dead. Authorities launched an investigation, but one critical question still hasn't been answered. What really happened to Elena Moore? Stay until the end because we'll reveal the timeline, the official investigation, and why this case has captured so much attention. It was a normal day in Lexington, South Carolina. The sun was shining. People went about their lives. For Elena Moore, a 39-year-old personal trainer, June 11, 2026, was just like any other day. She was seen leaving a local Planet Fitness gym, a place she knew well. She was active on social media, always making plans for the future, connecting with friends, connecting with clients. Then, suddenly, she vanished. In the days that followed, a community would hold its breath, hoping for her safe return. But the outcome would be one that nobody wanted to face, leaving behind a profound and unsettling mystery that continues to raise questions. The story began with a simple missing person report. Elena was last seen walking away from the gym. Just one day later, she was officially reported missing. What happened in those crucial hours after she left the fitness center? Authorities immediately launched an investigation, piecing together her last known movements. The search intensified as news spread across the state, headlines flashing across television screens, newspaper front pages. Police lights became a common sight as investigators worked around the clock. Just 6 days after she disappeared, the search came to a tragic end. On June 17, 2026, a body was discovered near Old Cherokee Road and North Lake Drive. The Lexington County Coroner's Office soon confirmed the public's worst fears. The body was that of Elena Catherine Moore. The news sent a shockwave through the community. An autopsy was scheduled, and everyone expected it to provide clear answers. Investigators hoped it would reveal what led to her death. But when the preliminary results were released, the mystery only deepened, leaving one critical question that still hasn't been answered. What really happened to Elena Moore? This is the story of a life cut short and an investigation that continues to this day. We will explore the timeline of her disappearance, the official findings from law enforcement, and the unanswered questions that have captured so much attention. Using only verified, publicly reported information, we will piece together the puzzle of her final days. We will examine every confirmed detail, from her last known appearance to the complex forensic work being done to find the truth. Stay with us until the end as we reveal the official investigation and why this case remains a compelling and unresolved mystery. Stay tuned. Before she became a name in headlines across South Carolina, Elena Catherine Moore was a familiar and encouraging presence in her community. At 39 years old, she had built a career around her passion for health and wellness. As a dedicated personal trainer, she spent her days helping others achieve their fitness goals, inspiring them to push their limits and live healthier lives. Her work was more than just a job. It was a calling that allowed her to connect with people on a personal level. Elena worked as a personal trainer at Wolf's Fitness Center in Lexington, a place where her professional skills and motivating personality were highly valued. Colleagues and clients knew her as someone who was always ready with a word of encouragement or a carefully planned workout routine. Her professional life was a reflection of her own disciplined lifestyle, one that she eagerly shared with everyone who walked through the gym doors seeking a change. Beyond her role at Wolf's Fitness Center, Elena was a regular at other local gyms, including the Planet Fitness where she was last seen. Her presence in these spaces was a testament to her unwavering commitment to her own health and the fitness world she inhabited. For Elena, a gym was more than a building with equipment. It was a community hub where people gathered to better themselves. This deep integration into the local fitness culture made her a recognizable and trusted face to many in Lexington. It was this very routine, this commitment to her daily workout, that placed her at the Planet Fitness on June 11, 2026. What should have been just another ordinary day in a life dedicated to wellness, tragically became the starting point of a deep and unsettling mystery that left her friends, family, and community searching for answers. While her professional life was centered around fitness, Elena Moore was much more than just a personal trainer. Those who knew her described a woman full of life, with a warm personality that drew people in. Through her social media presence, she shared glimpses of a life filled with friends, family, and future plans. Her posts often reflected her optimistic outlook, showcasing a person who was actively engaged with the world and excited about what lay ahead. She wasn't just building a career, she was building a life rich with connections and experiences, making her sudden disappearance all the more jarring for those who followed her journey online and in person. Elena's life in Lexington was deeply rooted in the connections she made with others. She was a daughter, a friend, and a mentor. Family photos shared by those close to her paint a picture of a woman who valued her relationships above all else. These images show her smiling, surrounded by loved ones, capturing moments of joy and togetherness that stand in stark contrast to the tragedy that would later unfold. These were not just static pictures, but windows into a life that was vibrant and full of meaning. Every photo and every memory shared by her circle underscores the profound loss felt by those who knew her not as a headline, but as an irreplaceable part of their lives. Her everyday life was a tapestry of routine and spontaneity. She was known to be making plans, looking toward the future with the same energy she brought to her training sessions. This forward-looking nature makes the circumstances of her death particularly difficult to comprehend. She was a person in motion, someone with goals and dreams yet to be realized. It is this person, Elena Moore, the dedicated trainer, the loving friend, the hopeful planner, who is at the heart of the ongoing search for truth. The quest for answers is not just about solving a case, it is about honoring the memory of a life taken too soon. The timeline of Elena Moore's last known days begins on a seemingly ordinary Tuesday. On June 11, 2026, Elena did what she did most days. She went to the gym. This time it was a Planet Fitness in her hometown of Lexington, South Carolina. There was nothing to suggest this visit would be any different from the countless others she had made before. According to official reports, Elena was seen leaving the Planet Fitness that day. She was on foot, walking away from the building. This simple act, walking out of a gym, would become the last confirmed sighting of her alive. The moments that followed are a blank slate, a void that investigators have been working tirelessly to fill. What was on her mind as she left? Was she heading home, to meet a friend, or to run an errand? These are the questions that linger, as the ordinary sequence of her day was about to break. After Elena Moore walked away from the Planet Fitness on June 11th, the flow of information about her whereabouts abruptly stops. The next 24 hours are a critical black hole in the timeline. Her usual patterns of communication, the frequent social media posts, the texts to friends and clients, the calls to family, all ceased. This sudden silence was out of character for a woman who was so connected and active. For those who knew her well, this lack of contact was the first red flag. By the next day, Wednesday, June 12, 2026, the growing concern among her friends and family solidified into action. Realizing that no one had been able to reach her, they made the decision to contact the authorities. Elena Moore was officially reported as a missing person. This formal report set in motion the official investigation into her disappearance. The search for Elena had begun, and the clock was ticking. They combed through local parks, wooded areas, and neighborhoods, looking for any trace of the missing 39-year-old. The search for Elena Moore reached its heartbreaking conclusion on Monday, June 17, 2026. A body was found near Old Cherokee Road and North Lake Drive in Lexington. The area, a mix of residential and undeveloped land, became the focal point of the investigation. The Lexington County Coroner's Office was called to the scene. Later that day, they delivered the news that everyone had dreaded. The body was officially identified as Elena Moore. The announcement confirmed the public's deepest fears and sent a shockwave of grief through the community. The search was over. The investigation shifted from finding a missing person to understanding how and why she died. An autopsy was set for June 20th. It held the promise of answers. Was there any sign of foul play? Was her death the result of an accident, a medical event, or something more sinister? On June 22nd, the Lexington County Coroner's Office released the preliminary findings. However, the official statement delivered a result that was as unexpected as it was frustrating. The autopsy did not identify an immediate cause of death. The clear, simple answer that everyone was looking for did not exist, at least not yet. The coroner's report was specific in what it did not find. Pathologists found no evidence of traumatic injury on Elena's body. This was a significant finding, as it meant there were no obvious signs of a struggle, an assault, or any other form of physical violence that could have led to her death. The absence of trauma ruled out many of the most straightforward explanations and complicated the investigation immensely. If she wasn't a victim of violence, what had happened to her? In the official statement, the coroner, Margaret Fisher, made it clear that the investigation was far from over. This next phase would involve a series of detailed tests, histological studies, a comprehensive toxicology screening, and a thorough review of Elena's medical records. The investigation shifted its focus to the microscopic level. Pathologists were looking for subtle signs of disease or cellular damage. The toxicology results could determine whether an overdose, either accidental or intentional, was a factor. For the time being, the official cause and manner of Elena Moore's death would remain listed as pending. While forensic experts worked, detectives wrestled with an equally puzzling question. How did Elena Moore get to the location where her body was found? Did she get a ride from someone she knew? A stranger? Or was she transported there against her will? Investigators have been collecting and analyzing surveillance footage from a vast area, a monumental task requiring thousands of hours of review. As the investigation continues, it's important to separate confirmed facts from the many unanswered questions. Authorities have not named any persons of interest or suspects publicly, and they continue to ask for information from the community that might help them piece together her final movements. The story of Elena Moore began as a routine day. It has since become a somber and perplexing mystery, one that lingers in the minds of her community. Elena's life, so full of energy and connection, now stands in stark contrast to the silence that surrounds her death. The case has become a complex puzzle, where forensic science and painstaking detective work are the only tools available to piece together the fragmented narrative of her final days. The investigation now proceeds down a deliberate, scientific path. The path forward is paved with patience and precision. A central task is reconstructing the 6-day gap in Elena's timeline. Every tip from the public is being investigated. The release of the final autopsy report will be the most significant development. It may close certain lines of inquiry, or it may launch the investigation in a new direction. The community of Lexington, South Carolina, remains in a state of watchful waiting. This collective vigilance shows Elena has not been forgotten. Friends and family share stories, ensuring her legacy is defined by life, not death. The hope is that one day the full story will be told, giving loved ones some measure of peace. Some mysteries are solved quickly, others take months or even years. As investigators continue their work, Elena Moore's case remains a story many people are following, hoping for clear answers.